record and minimize this and then take a picture of it.
Sounds good.
Now, I'm not sure what they mean by modified box plots, but I can certainly draw a box plot.
Right.
Okay, and box plots can be horizontal or vertical.
Okay.
And I'm not sure that one is more correct than the other.
I think you could do either way, couldn't you?
I think so. With this first problem where we're doing Barry Bonds and Hank Aaron,
Yeah.
I would say that I want to do BB there and HA there.
Okay.
And then I'm going to make my home runs go from 13 to 73.
Okay.
Okay, so the top is home runs. Across the thing is the two people, and you're going to have two vertical box plots.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Box plots look like either this.
Right. Or the vertical.
Or vertical, same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Let me point to some stuff here and you tell me what it is. This case, are we going to do it vertically or horizontally?
Probably horizontal. Or no, vertically.
Vertically. So tell me what this is.
That's the median.
Okay, tell me what that is.
That's the lowest common, what's it called?
That's the limit of the
lower
third
quartile.
quartile.
Yeah. And then upper quartile.
What's this?
That would be the upper quartile.
Actually, that's the first.
Or is that? That's the first. Am I looking at it? Oh, I'm looking at it backwards. Okay.
And
Yeah.
this is the third.
Mm-hmm.
And notice that would make this that puzzles me. The central box spans the quartiles 1 and 3. A line in the box marks the median. So this is the median.
Right.
And then the lines extend from the box out to the smallest and largest observations. Well, that's a little puzzling to me because shouldn't this be the smallest observation right there if that's the first quartile?
I would think so.
And the median doesn't come at the end of the first quartile. It comes at the end of the second. So I'm looking at the book and it says quartiles 1 and 3 for the central box, but it seems to me like that's got to be the second quartile.
Right.
And the beginning of the first quartile would be that point right there. And the ending of the fourth quartile would be that. It seems like that would make the most sense, especially since the median comes between, you got 4 quartiles. So and the median is definitely the line in the middle.
Right.
So what's the median on Barry Bonds? Let's just assume this is our proper picture. I'm not sure what's going on here as to why my book indicates otherwise. Maybe this is the modified box plot. This is the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Where's the
I would think so. The median is 34.
So there's 16. So it's halfway between 7 and 8. So 34 is the median. I'm going to call that the median.
Cool.
Now, if 34 is the median, I think the best way to do this is to go ahead and draw a vertical line through the data.
Yeah.
And then that would be the first quartile, correct?
Right.
That would be the second quartile.
Yep.
That would be the third. And this is the fourth.
Okay.
So there's only one way that makes any sense to me at all to draw these box plots.
Hmm.
And that's if it's the second and third, and the line goes down to the fourth. In other words,
Yeah.
let's just assume that, okay? So
Okay.
the second goes from 25 to 34.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is 34.
Hmm.
Second goes from 25 to 34.
Yeah.
The third ends at 40.
Okay.
So we'll call that 40.
Okay.
Call that the third, that the second. And
Yeah.
then where's the bottom end of that?
Eric, I have a quick question.
Uh-huh.
So to find the first and third quartiles, do you just find the median of the numbers below the median?
Yeah.
Or
In
how?
other words,
Okay. Is that what you do?
once you find the median, then you break up the left half into halves,
Okay.
into quarters, excuse me.
Right. Hmm.
This one is perfect because it's got exactly 16 entries.
Yeah.
So each quartile has exactly 4 data points.
Okay.
What's this point right here for Barry Bonds?
Um, would that just be um that would just be 13, right?
Look at Barry Bonds' numbers, not Hank Aaron's.
I'm looking at whoops, yeah. 16.
Okay. So that's
Okay.
16.
Yeah.
What's the top?
73.
And now let's do Hank Aaron. What's Hank
Cool.
Aaron's median? Here, let's hold on a second. Let me erase some of this stuff.
Sure. Let me find that real fast.
Well, let's see. We have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 21.
I got 38. Yeah.
So it's the 11th one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Right there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so 38. So Hank Aaron's median is bigger than,
Mm-hmm.
what do we have? We had 21.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So
we have 21.
when we
Yep.
break it up into quartiles, I'm not sure how they deal with that. Do you know?
Uh,
In other words, we got one left over.
yeah. Right.
The median is easy,
Hmm.
but the bottom of the second quartile, I'm not sure. There's 5 in this quartile. There's 5 in that quartile. There's the
There's
median,
4.
and probably the way it works. You love to hear that from a tutor, don't you? Probably.
No, you're good.
This is the third quartile. There's 5 in that, and this would
Mhm,
be the fourth quartile. There's 5 in that. So we have the
mhm.
median. This is most likely the way it is. Uh,
Oh yeah, probably.
so
That would be
let's see.
cool.
If we're looking for the bottom of the second quartile, which is the bottom of the box,
Mhm.
not counting the needles that stick out,
Uh-huh.
that would be 29.
Mhm.
And Barry Bonds was 25.
Yeah.
Okay, so 29, a little bit higher. And the top of the third quartile is 44, a little
Mhm.
bit higher.
Yeah.
This is the second and the third. And let me just label that. That's 44. That
Mm-hmm.
is 29. And the median was 38. And let's go
Yeah.
back and look at Barry Bonds. This is obviously an argument as to why Hank Aaron's is better,
Oh yeah.
right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, every aspect is better.
Mm-hmm.
If,
Well, Barry Bonds did steroids too.
well,
So
not
like,
even counting that, because we
right.
don't really know if Hank
I just have.
could have
Hmm.
done steroids too. We don't know he didn't, but
Right.
they just
I
didn't
just have
have
no.
they didn't have
I
the
guess.
information to determine it.
Right. I
Okay.
guess Barry Bonds was really mean too. Like he
Well, he was
was
not
just.
liked for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, and the
Yeah.
lowest outlier on Henry Aaron is 13,
Uh-huh.
and the highest outlier is 47.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I mean, that's got to be what you would want, isn't it?
I would think so. Yeah.
So how come I'm
Oh yeah.
looking at my AP book and it says a box plot, the central box spans the quartiles 1 to 3?
Maybe it's like maybe that's just like regular because this is modified in the directions.
Well, maybe it's the top of 1 to
Maybe.
the bottom of 3,
Yeah.
perhaps. But
Hmm.
I can't imagine there's any other way to do this. There's no way that bottom rectangle can be 1, because then what is the needle? The needle would be, would be a part of the first quartile.
Uh-huh.
All right, so we'll assume this is a modified one
Yeah, let's just
and
see.
correct.
Hmm.
Locate the median, we've done that. Marks the
Uh-huh.
distribution. Then look at the spread, including
Hmm.
outliers. Well, Barry Bonds' spread is from 16 to 73. Hank Aaron
Hmm.
is from 13 to 47.
Yeah.
They said side by side box plots have to be vertical box plots,
Uh-huh.
because there's no way if you put horizontal ones, they would be one over the other. So if
Right.
it's side by side, this is side by side.
Hmm.
Okay. So I think the picture we have drawn is correct,
Uh-huh.
despite what I'm looking at in my AP stats book.
Okay.
Um, let's see what question 2 says before I go on.
Sure.
Um, I didn't start this thing quite low enough. If I erase this, I can't scan down and put up Roger Maris's box plot.
Oh yeah.
Um,
I got it down if you want to just erase it. I got it written down.
well, what's the question on number 2?
It says in 1961, let me go to the question.
Yeah.
Would you consider his record-setting year to be an outlier? Why or why not?
Okay. Which means, hmm. So question 2 has nothing to do with question 1?
No,
Okay.
no,
In other words, they're not asking you to
no.
compare
It's not
Roger
like a
Maris with Barry Bonds or Hank Aaron.
no.
In that case, I'll scan down to it.
Okay.
So first of all, outliers have a particular definition
Mhm.
that's kind of arbitrary. You know what it
Okay.
is?
Uh, I don't really have a formal definition for it.
Well, there is one. What it
Okay.
is 1.5 times the first quartile.
Okay.
Now, Call an observation an outlier if it falls more than 1.5 times the first quartile above the third quartile or below the first quartile.
Okay.
Okay. So the
Okay.
first thing we need to do is draw the box plot for Roger Maris. I think, let's see, yeah. And then we can, I think that's probably the best way to go.
I do too.
So what's the average between 5 and 6?
Let me find that. Oh, is asking for the mean or the?
I don't know that we need the median, but it's always not a bad place to start when you're drawing quartiles, when you're drawing box
Right.
plots, because it's easier to find the first quartile when you have the median.
Okay.
So what's the median here?
Hold on. Let me see. How do you find so if it's
Halfway between the 5th and the 6th. If it's an even number, which this is, he's only played 10 seasons,
okay.
then halfway between the 5th and the 6th. If it's an odd number, it's a specific number. But if it's an even number, you have to take halfway between the two numbers.
How do you take halfway? So if it's 23 and 26.
So how
So
would you think you'd
is there like
take halfway between them?
is there like a formula to find?
There is, but use your common sense. Is 25 halfway between?
No.
24?
24 and a half.
There you
It's
go.
24 and a half, yeah.
Okay, so that's 24.5, and that's our median.
Okay.
Now, let's break it up into quartiles.
Uh-huh.
So if that's our median,
That's how you do it. Okay.
well, now I don't know how to do the first quartile. Gosh.
Let me see.
My book even mentions modified box plots now.
Does it?
I don't know what to do when you have an odd number.
Right.
Hold on a second. This is the
Okay.
5 number summary. There are several rules for calculating quartiles, which often give slightly different values. The differences are always small. So it depends on which rule. Hold on, let me read the quartiles.
Okay.
The first quartile is the median of the observations whose position in the ordered list is to the left of the location of the median. Okay, so that's the median of the first quartile.
Okay.
And that's the median of the third. Okay, so here's what I believe we have. First quartile, median, second quartile, third quartile, fourth quartile.
Okay.
And I believe those 3 medians that we're looking at are not part of the quartiles. I'm not sure where they go, but that's kind of what my book just described it as. I might be off a little bit here, Dylan.
Oh, you're good.
Unfortunately, I can read this book twice, but if it's been 6 months and I haven't worked with it, I don't remember a lot of the stuff. So,
it's all good.
But let's assume this is what you do. Okay. So the bottom number of the second quartile is what? Remember
8.
Second, what's the bottom number?
I got 14 for that one.
No, that's the median.
Is that?
I got 16. In other words, if we don't count 14, we've got 2 data points in the first quartile, 2 in the second, 2 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. And these 3 median points don't go in a particular quartile.
Right.
In other words, I've got the bottom of the second being at 16.
Okay.
And I got the top of the second. Well, the median is 24.5.
Yeah.
So the top of the third, I would call 28. And then
So,
the very top point is 61.
do you
And
just do, wait.
I'm doing,
So, to get 28, did you,
look at
for the
my
third
chart.
quartile? Right.
In other words, the third quartile only has two values in it, 26 and 28.
Wouldn't it just be 27 then? Or,
You mean the top would be halfway between? I don't know.
yeah.
I really
Okay.
don't know. Um,
Okay.
my book says there's lots of different ways to calculate quartiles.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make one up as to the way I would do it.
Okay.
And if there's an even number of points or a multiple of 4, then it's pretty clear how you do it. And that's what we did on number 1. But
Okay.
on this one, where there's 10 points,
Hmm.
you can't break it up into an even number of quartiles.
No.
So I'm not sure how you're supposed to do it.
Okay.
But according to the description in my book, this would not be a bad way. In other words, you calculate the median. That's clearly the median.
Uh-huh.
No question about that. 24 and a
Yeah.
half. Okay.
Okay.
And then my book indicates that you calculate the median on the entire left side, which is 14. Now there's an odd number. So
Yeah.
14 would be the median. So the
Okay.
first quartile would be between the lowest point and that median. Second quartile would be between that submedian and the median.
Hmm.
So that's what I'm kind of trying to do here. Okay.
Okay.
I don't
Hmm.
think it much matters, and I'll tell you why. Because their
Okay.
question has to do with outliers. So
Right.
everything is about that.
Hmm.
Okay. What is
Okay.
the range of the first quartile?
Um, 53.
No, the range is the distance
There.
from the smallest to the largest of the first quartile. Remember what this formula said.
Of the first quartile. Yeah, my bad. So you would do 61 minus,
Hold on. Here's the
okay,
first quartile.
right,
What's the range in that first quartile?
6.
Well, it's either 5 or 6.
Okay.
Okay. I don't know. It's either the difference between 8 and 14 or the difference between 8 and 13.
Hmm.
We'll call it 6. Okay. Now
Okay.
it says multiply that by 1.5
Yeah.
and you will get a number that gives you, that's going to be a measurement of outliers.
Okay.
Okay. And here's what my book says about outliers. If a suspected outlier falls more than 1.5 times the first quartile range, which in our case is 9,
Hmm.
above the third quartile or below the first quartile.
Okay.
So the third quartile ends at either 28 or 31. I'm not sure which.
Hmm.
So the question is which points are outliers? Is
Right.
61 an outlier?
Um, no,
Remember
it
what
wouldn't
the
be,
rule says. It
right?
has to fall 9 points away from the top of the third quartile
9 points away from the top of the, oh, so it is one.
by a lot.
Yeah, by
It ain't
10.
even close. And if you
No.
look at all these numbers, the 61 stands out like a sore thumb.
Hmm.
Maybe that's when Roger Maris discovered steroids. Uh,
Right.
I mean, based on this data, you would have to say something strange went on that year.
Uh-huh.
So 61 is definitely an outlier.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the question is 39 an outlier? Well, I don't think so.
Uh-huh.
Is this number between 28 and 39? Is that 31? I think it is.
Yeah.
So 39 is not 9 more than 31. It is 11 more than 28. So in one sense, you could call it an outlier, but I don't think so here. 61 is definitely an outlier. Now let's look at the other end. Let's look at 8.
Okay.
Now 8 is only an outlier if what?
If it lies 9 points
Below what?
below the first quartile or third
Well,
quartile,
below the second. In other words,
second.
when we're examining the bottom end of this thing, we're looking to be 9 points below the bottom of the second quartile. That would make it an outlier. And it is not. It's not 9 points lower than 16, and it's definitely not 9 points lower than 14.
Yeah.
Despite our definition, there's no way 8 is an outlier. So
Mm-hmm.
remember what the outliers are. The outliers are the lowest points that fall below the bottom of the second quartile has to be greater than 9.
Okay.
It isn't. Or it's the highest points that fall above the top of the third quartile.
Mm-hmm.
Well, 61 is definitely greater than, we'll call 31 plus 9.
Yeah.
Okay? So 61 is the only outlier. It's the only, and possibly 39. I'm just
Right.
not sure. I'm just not sure how you would draw the box plot or modified box plot. Because obviously, if there's different ways to define quartiles, there's different ways to define box plots.
Right.
My book said that that should be quartile 1 and this should be quartile 3. Well, that makes no sense at all.
No.
That can't be.
Mm.
That's got to be 2, because if this was 1, then none of these points would even be on, they would all be in the box. And you would
Right.
never have a needle down below. So
Mm-hmm.
I think this picture here is the proper picture.
Okay.
And certainly the one thing I know for sure is that's the median. And we
Mm-hmm.
can figure out the exact median. But
Uh-huh.
see, once you've figured out the exact median, now if you look at the median between in the lower half, that's it. It's
Mm-hmm.
it's now there's an odd number. There's only 5 numbers there. And the median is the middle one,
Right.
which would mean the first quartile should be 8 and 13.
Mm-hmm.
Second quartile should be 16 and 23.
Yeah.
Third quartile would be 26 and 28. Fourth quartile would be 39 and 61.
Okay.
At least that's the way I would understand it. Now,
Yeah.
I don't know if you figured it out or not yet, but statistics is as much of an art as it is a math.
Yeah.
In other words, it has a lot to do with how you define stuff, how you want to look at stuff. Even this
Mm-hmm.
definition for outliers is
Right.
off. In
Oh
other
yeah.
words, that's arbitrary. By
Uh-huh.
arbitrary, I mean somebody just decided to make it 1.5 times the range of the first quartile.
Right.
There's nothing in mathematics that says that.
No.
That's just what somebody decided. They will call a point an outlier if it is 1.5 times the range of the first
Mm-hmm.
quartile. I need an R right there. The range of the first quartile.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So even if I'm wrong on both of these problems, I don't think I'm wrong on the first one, but the second one I might be
Yeah.
off a little bit in my definition. It
Okay.
doesn't really matter. 61 is always an outlier.
Mm-hmm.
39 might be, because notice that if 28 is the end of the third quartile, 39 is 11 away from that, it's greater than
Mm-hmm.
9. So one could almost make the argument that 39 is an outlier, but I don't think so. I think it
Okay.
has to be 9 points away from that number.
Yeah.
And I think 8 has to be 9 points away from 14.
Uh-huh.
8 is not, and nor is 39.
Mm.
So the only outlier is 61.
Okay.
And apologize, I've gone beyond our time.
No, I apologize. I kept you.
Um,
No, I appreciate it though.
no, I appreciate it too, because I'm dying to do a little bit of basic statistics with somebody.
Good. You're
You
good. So it
don't
works
learn
out.
something until you do it. It's
Exactly.
just a matter of fact. I could read this statistics book 5 times in a row in the summer, and if I
Uh-huh.
don't do any statistics tutoring for the next year, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
going to remember hardly any of it.
Right.
The only way I learn how to do something is by actually teaching it. You'd be amazed. If you want to really learn how to do something, teach it.
Uh-huh. Oh
I'm
yeah.
not kidding
Oh
you.
yeah.
That applies throughout life. If you
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get better at baseball,
Mm-hmm.
go tutor, coach somebody at baseball. You'd
That's for
be
sure.
amazed at what it will do for your baseball game.
For sure.
Because it,
Oh,
it
definitely.
causes you to focus on things that you're not normally focused on. You might
Right.
be teaching somebody how to swing and say, well, I want you to swing on a down plane.
Uh-huh.
You would tell them that, and
Mm-hmm.
maybe you haven't been doing that. And so all of a sudden you would realize, well, I need to flatten out my plane a little bit instead
Right.
of swinging on an up plane trying to hit home runs all the time.
Exactly.
I've
Mm-hmm.
heard both opinions. Wade Boggs used to be one of the great hitters in the world, and he believed on swinging on the down plane,
Mm-hmm.
and it never made quite sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
because the ball is coming from an upward spot and dropping. So it
Right.
seems to me you should swing on a plane that's a little bit steeper than flat, maybe five
Uh-huh.
degrees, and then you'd be swinging on the plane that the ball is coming at you at.
Mm-hmm.
And that would give you the greatest probability of making good contact with the ball.
Right.
But I'm
Okay.
not sure what's the current state of the art belief is on hitting a baseball. But I do
Mm-hmm.
know, I've taught enough subjects in my life to know that, boy, you want to get better at something, teach it to somebody else.
That's yeah. I've heard that too. It
Yeah,
helps a lot.
absolutely. And without even knowing it, it helps you.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
so
Mhm.
anyway, thank you for giving me the chance to learn statistics just a little bit better.
Yeah, definitely.
And
Definitely.
I'll talk to you next time.
All right, perfect. Thanks for this, Cowan.
Bye bye.
All right, cool. Bye bye.